Okay, I'm at the Texas Sealife Center, which is a place I often come to when we find injured birds or anything that needs help. We bring it to this Texas Sealife Center. And if you look, we've got all these cages here, and they're always here for you to put birds or animals in if ever you find anything that needs a vet or whatever, or it's got broken wings, they're going to sort it out here. I also look after turtles, but your job, if you see a turtle, is report it. Let someone who's licensed to handle. I've got a license to handle turtles, but you need to go on a course to get it. And if you get it, you need to bring the turtles here or call someone and they will bring them here to look after them for you. We have here today a couple of people, Marcus, Sasha, and they're here to do a donation. The Texas Sealife Center relies upon them donations to heal animals that are found damaged. They have to bring vets in. Sometimes they've got to do serious medication for long term. One of the things that we're going to be looking at is a herpes virus on the turtles, which they remove here. The vet comes in, Tim, and he does the work. But to do that, they need money. And this gentleman and this young lady are donating through a charity.
Yeah, I won a contest at work. It was Employee of the Month, and that was part of the benefits that Dane Street afforded me was to give $250 to a nonprofit. So immediately reached out to Sammy and Nick, and we collaborated, and here we are at the Sea Turtle Center doing the right thing.
So essentially, the Texas Sealife Center, we put this together in about 2012. The idea came about 2010. We reckoned there was a recognized need for a wildlife hospital here. Where I was working, the veterinary hospitals that I was working at, they were bringing animals to me. Wherever I was working, they were bringing animals to me, and it would cost them money. So I'm like, we need a wildlife hospital. There were some wildlife rehabilitation facilities, but not really a true hospital that was open here in Corpus Christi. So that's when we opened it up. We started working with the county. We identified this building that we're in right now is an area where we could do that. The county agreed to allow us to use this building. We had to put in a request for proposal, go through all the hoops, and then get the building. And then once we were able to get the building, then the project started. Then it's the fundraising, raising some money. And at one point in time, all we had was one 6-foot diameter pool, and that's all we had, and some cages. We didn't have any animals. We didn't have any education animals to show anybody. So we even brought some of our own personal animals. Myself and Amanda brought some of our own personal animals up here, so people at least had something to interact with until we started getting all the animals in, or rehab animals. And obviously, over the last 10 years, it's grown exponentially. Now we're up to 8 total hospital pools for sea turtles. We have, I would say, probably 5 or 6 mews, which essentially are caging for wild birds, and then a large flight cage where we're able to condition them before we release. This half of the building is open to the public. So we, as you see, as you're looking around, you'll see a lot of animals, mainly reptiles. We kind of, are reptile, reptophiles here. So we kind of like the reptiles more than anything. But it kind of gives people an ability to kind of interact with some of these animals. We get a chance to talk about invasive species. You'll see that when we go on the outside, you see some of the tortoises and things like that. Not only do we have sea turtles, but we also have tortoises. And with the tortoises, we talk about, people not releasing these wild animals that aren't native to here into the wild. And we see a lot of that in Florida now, where there's a lot of invasive species that have come in and they're taking over the native habitat of animals that naturally would live there. So we really try to do it. There's a big push on education about, invasive species, not only about that, but also about conservation of the species we have here. So once we got in the building, we kind of started to add to slowly over 10 years, one pool, another pool, until finally we're at the stage where we are right now. The county's been very generous to us the entire time. So the front part of the property here that you'll see is what we've worked with over the last 10 years. There's another section of property which we're hoping to get hopefully in the next few years, to be able to expand, because we've really outgrown this space.
You do rely on donations. That's the way.
Yes. This is a it's Texas Sealife Center is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. It's a wildlife hospital. We have no paid employees. It's all volunteer, including myself, including the director of rehab, which is Amanda. There are no paid employees. So every dollar that comes in here goes directly to the animals, whether it be an animal, or if it's not going to the animals, it's going into expanding our capacity to hold more animals.
And if you wanted to volunteer here, How would you go about doing that?
So there's a couple different ways to volunteer. One is come in, fill out a volunteer application. The second way is to get in touch with us online through our online portal. So either Facebook or through email. Well, what's really neat is it's, being on the island, it's a very small community. A lot of people still don't know we're here. I say we're the best kept secret on the island because not many people know. We don't have a big budget for marketing, advertising. So, we don't have billboards. We don't have, anything of that nature. So we're kind of small, but we're slowly building to the point where hopefully we can do that one day. But a lot of it right now is just word of mouth and people spreading the word.
Well, we're going to try and help you on that.
I appreciate that.
That's what we're here for.
And, we have brochures and stickers, and we do a lot of events, and we do outreach. So we'll take some of our education animals to different places.
And what was wrong? What are we looking at here?
So this is this pool we call Rogue One, because it's kind of off by itself, and we're kind of have a little bit of a Star Wars theme, if you haven't noticed it, with some of our animal names around here. And in
Is
this
that
tank,
through because of you?
yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah. Grew up with it. It's just part of it, right?
Now I noticed that's got that herpes thing.
Yeah. So this tank in particular, this pool in particular, has all the turtles that are in here do have FP, which is fibropapillomatosis. That's why we just call it FP. It's much easier to say.
Now, will you be removing like that sort of growth, or because it's not really affecting them?
The primary growths we remove are the ones on their eyes,
Okay.
the ones on their flippers that might cause them problems swimming or might get caught up in different debris,
Okay.
or the ones near their tail that might affect them defecating or in any other anything like that would impede their movement at all.
And you, on the radio the other day, you were saying this is more likely caused by some leech, or?
Yeah, well, it's caused by a herpes virus, and we
Okay.
think it's spread from turtle to turtle by marine leeches.
Okay.
We may remove one or two, or we may remove multiple, but usually it depends on how much we think the animal can handle. You can't, these are still,
Do you
sensitive
put them
creatures.
to sleep when they do?
They are under anesthesia, so
Okay.
they don't feel anything.
Do you have to stitch them up, or is the area
No,
you
it's-
take from pretty?
Yeah, what's neat about this is we do laser surgery on these guys, and so we leave it open to heal by what's called secondary intention healing. With using a laser, it's even better than cautery. Cautery is a different type of procedure, but laser is even better because it also sears those nerve endings, so it's not as painful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And is this like a typical sort of number that you have in this?
Yeah, I would say this time of year, this is about the number we have. During things like cold stunning events, we have a lot more. So it's certainly a little bit more crowded during those massive cold stunning events. But during this time of year, during the spring, this is about normal number of turtles we have here.
That's so
And
cool.
and I'd say that's the other thing too is being by the coast, we also have all these natural disasters that happen, whether it be hurricanes, cold stunning events, things like that. So, we were fortunate enough, we got a grant through the Restore Act, it's called NERDA money, and to be able to get a generator. So that big box you see behind you there, that's a $40,000 generator. So that, in case we lose power here, which we have done before, it keeps the filtration going, keeps the power going, keeps the refrigerator going to keep their food fresh.
Do you know what we got a film of the other day?
What's that?
A turtle eating a fish.
I believe it.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, well, sometimes these guys, if they're not eating greens or we want to fatten them up a little bit more, sometimes we'll do some fish, we'll do squid, we'll do some other things too, because sometimes they're just picky and very
It was a
finicky.
big fish that had been filleted.
Really?
It was eating all the meat off
It was
the
eating
head.
the meat off the head.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it was real cool. We got it on film.
That's great. That's awesome.
Something I didn't realize. So you've got 3 tanks. Are they separated by sex or by kind, or what? Or
They're usually separated by species.
Okay.
So the green sea turtles, they can swim together and they get along together to
Right.
a certain degree. I mean, you get them too crowded, they will start to. But green sea turtles, you can put them together. But Kemp's Ridleys, you can't. Loggerheads, you can't. And we can walk around and show you some of the other species.
Is this salt water in here?
This is
What
salt
is
water. This is a green sea turtle.
This is green.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that part of the video. Don't forget, if you're in town or you've got kids or anything, it's a really cool place. Go and visit it. Take your time out, go down there, go and have a look at all the beautiful animals they've got and birds and things and the way they look after them. It's a really good way to show the family how to get close to our beautiful wildlife here. Anyhow, I'd like to thank Amanda Terry and of course Dr. Tim Tristan for allowing us to come along and see all this. We really enjoyed it and I'm sure you will. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, the second half we've got the operation of how we remove these horrendous herpes viruses from the green turtles. Thanks for watching.